On February 6, 2012, the night of his 11th anniversary, Chris Fulton called his wife Teresa from his truck to say he would be home shortly. 15 minutes later, the 38-year-old Speedy Transport owner-operator entered a rural intersection in Hampstead, Ontario, when a van full of migrant farm workers ran a stop sign and veered straight into his path. Chris tried to avoid hitting the vehicle head-on, but in doing so, his truck flipped over and he lost his life, as did 10 of the 13 occupants in the van.
He was the best man I knew. He was dedicated. Everything he did. Loved his dogs. Loved me.
He was always there should you need a hand, anything like that. Especially if you wanted to talk about the Detroit Tigers. I mean, he was Mr. TSN here.
He was a nice guy. He helps out and stuff. He does all the chores around the house.
What?
We'd love to have an entire fleet of Chris Fultons. We would.
Because of his heroic actions that tragic night, Chris has been posthumously named the recipient of the 2012 Bridgestone OTA Truck Hero Award. Investigators determined the accident would have been even worse had Chris not steered away at the last second, saving the lives of 3 of the occupants in the van. In fact, police say he likely would have lived had he not maneuvered his truck, but there's little chance there would have been any survivors in the other vehicle.
Juan and Javier, whom I've met, who are two of the survivors I've met. I haven't met the third, Edgar, yet, but Juan did tell me that they locked eyes. So Chris knew that there were people in the back of that van, and Juan told me that he believed that Chris saved his life. So he did the very best he could, and he saved 3 people's lives. So yeah, he's my hero.
Everyone who knew Chris Fulton describes him as a tremendously safe and courteous professional who loved his job, loved his truck, and took great pride in his industry.
You know, he was a very cautious driver, very respectful on the road, very diligent with documentation, well respected by his customers. You know, just an outstanding guy.
Chris's pride in being a truck driver was huge. Dedicated to his work. He'd bring that truck home and fix it and paint it. I helped him paint it in our driveway, and always on time, always wanting to get back to see his family.
With this kind of award, I think he'd be very proud of it, because it's a recognition of his efforts and his bravery on a day where a decision had to be made on what to do. And I think he made the right choice, whether we like it or not. And I think it's great that he's being acknowledged by his peers, because he had a great work ethic and he was very proud of what he did. So it's very bittersweet, but I think he'd be very proud of this, and he should be.
And everything he did, everything, whether it was cleaning the pool, packing his truck, dealing with his customers, kissing me goodnight. He did every single one of those things with dedication and pride. He was my knight in shining armor, except for he didn't have a steed. He had a metal truck with a blue face.